Yo, what's up guys? So, as you can see, I'm a bit of a UO player. This is my second account. It's a relatively new account. I think at some point it says in the chat just how old the account is. I think it's something like 33 months. But if you can believe it, this game is on its 17th anniversary. Holy shit. Wow. I have a couple friends that turned me on to this game a long ass time ago, and they've actually been playing this game off and on since 17 years ago. So, holy shit, man. This is a really fucking cool game in so many different ways. It's unfortunately pretty much dead now, but I should mention really quickly that, and this is the format that I'm trying to pull off here. I'm going to be bringing up tooltips and trying to mention why I'm bringing them up this way. But you might notice, first of all, that the UI is completely scattered. They've done something different to the enhanced UI since I last played, which was months ago. And fuck, man, at least they didn't get rid of all my macros and stuff, or else I would have been kind of pissed. But yeah, excuse the disjointed UI. It gets better as the video goes on. I start to rearrange everything and resize the screen, so everything gets better in that department. But right here is where I'm showing my weapons, and there is so much to talk about, guys. I'm not going to be able to cover it all. This game has a very high learning curve in pretty much every aspect, but this is kind of Dark Souls style in that my build here has 3 different weapons for PvP, primarily just the Chris and the Warfork though. And these weapons serve different functions, they have different specials, and here's a brief tour of the rest of the house here. It has multiple levels, and this one is for taming and training of certain kinds here, and the upper level is just really decorative, strictly decorative. And I believe I'm going to make my way downstairs just to show off the greeting area here, which has additional storage and some functions here, a rune library, which I'll get to eventually. Oh shit, no I won't, I'll get to it right now. But all these rune books are either made by me or different players, acquired at different points throughout the game. And inside these rune books are runes, which basically allow you to teleport to pretty much anywhere you would like throughout the world, and you have to be of the sorcery skill level to be able to mark these runes. So it's specific just for caster builds, and I have a couple builds that can mark runes, and eventually I'll get to them, but not this video. This one's pretty much just basic stuff about UO, just rune books, stuff about this particular build, and I'll probably just be ranting on and off throughout this session here where I'm trying to reacquaint myself with this game and the UI. And yeah, here's the quick book that I have in my inventory. This is where I go to all my major locations here, and I should note that I can only warp around with this method because this runebook has charges, because this character is what's referred to as a dexer for the most part, which is a dex build character, and that can encompass a ton of different skill setups, and I'll get to more of the specifics of my character eventually. But holy shit, there is so much to talk about. I'm not going to be able to speak fast enough to cover everything I would like in this video, so damn. I'm gonna have to just do my best, and at this point I've come to realize I'm just gonna have to skip over a lot of stuff because I simply can't speak fast enough. But here's where I'm supposed to rant about item insurance and shit. This is a feature that, in my opinion, pretty much caused the slow death and decay of this game. There was a time where this feature wasn't in the game, and basically, when you died, what you had on, on your back, what you had in your backpack would drop on the ground. Anyone could pick it up. So if you got slain by somebody else in PvP, they could just loot everything on your body, loot everything in your inventory. There were thieves in this game, very prevalent at one point, that could just snatch stuff out of your backpack whenever you were chilling at a bank or something. You were never safe, man. This was a pretty hardcore game, and that's what made it as excellent as it was. That's one of the primary reasons as to why it was so excellent. But now there's this thing called item insurance, and basically that doesn't happen anymore. Your gear is bound to you. You can pay to avoid it dropping in battle. There's also blessed gear, which essentially does the same thing, but it makes it so where it's automatically bound to you, and you don't have to insure it. You don't have to worry about it dropping in battle. So a lot of the big staples as to what made this game so immersive and hardcore just got eliminated, and it perhaps tried to conform to other MMOs a little bit more, and the game kind of became a little bit less focused about hardcore PvP and just immersive stuff like thieves and just the risk of dying in battle, even to AI enemies and having people loot your items. All that shit just got thrown out the window. So I should cut that off real quickly and explain some of this hotbar here, which is kind of getting into more of the specifics of my character. Here's where I'm demonstrating one of the really cool veteran perks to this game. One thing that they do really well is they offer veteran rewards each year that your account has been active. Man, and these rewards are really cool. Most of them are very cosmetic in nature, but you can actually increase your stats and stuff like that as well, and skill point cap from being a veteran in this game. So there's a lot of incentive to stick around, and it's just a really nice system that I wish more MMOs would do to reward people that have been around for years in this game. So this account is the newest one that I have. Every character slot is filled out, and this is really more of my crafting account, although I do have this guy as my PvP character on this particular setup. Everyone else is a PvE or farming build, but primarily this is my crafting account. You might have noticed from some of the gear that I have, it's crafted by Pain Inc. So yeah, that's my crafting character. Oh, just right on point right there. There's a weapon crafted by Pain Inc., which is my primary crafting character that I pretty much made this account for. I've invested quite a bit of time over, I think this account is 33 months old, I said, over its existence, pretty much just primarily beefing up that craft or leveling up skills for the most part. And yeah, I will get to him in the future episodes. I'll demonstrate crafting and stuff like that. I have every crafting skill unlocked and soulstoned because the skill cap is, I believe, something like 720 with all the veteran perks. You can have quite a bit of crafting. You can have quite a bit of skill combos on one character, so it makes for a lot of different unique builds, but obviously you can't have everything, and that's where soul stones come in. This allows you to store learned skills. So on my crafting build, I can have quite a bit of crafting skills learned at a time, but I can't have everything. So having those soul stones on standby that I've spent a shitload of time farming for and trading for as well, it really helps. So I have like every crafting skill learned, and it's pretty badass, man. Pretty badass. Crafting is really big in this game. A lot of your gear is crafted, which I really, really like. I hate it when all the good stuff is always just the same sort of PvE nonsense, like raid content and the usual suspects. But in this game, crafting is a big, big thing, and as you can see, a lot of my gear is crafted by me. So pretty fucking cool, man. Pretty nice little perk there. But yeah, this game is really dying off. I haven't played in months. The last time I played, it was like noticeably dying, and I was just like, holy shit, man. It was a little sad to see, because this really is a sweet game. Even in its current state, it still offers a very different experience in pretty much every aspect. I'm definitely going to come back and start messing around a little bit, but I'm unsure as to exactly what I want to do. You can do pretty much whatever the hell you want in this game, and that's what makes it so badass. I mean, I could do some of the highest difficulty and reward PvE in the game solo right now if I wanted to. Have a couple characters that are geared up for that, and I mean, that's just an option for me. I'm not saying that's what I want to do, certainly, but oh yeah, and here's the basic character stats. Really simple layout, and really the game has a very simple structure overall, but it also, because of the caps on everything, it really makes it to where you have to create very complex and unique builds. And that's really a correlation between that and Dark Souls, man, which, I mean, fuck, it's one of the many reasons why I enjoy this game so much. But I was meaning to emphasize there that this guy has earned, I guess, another veteran tier of skill points. So, damn, I need to go ahead and get on that. My skills, or not my skill points, rather. My skill points are still maxed out. But my stat points have gone from 255 to 260. So damn, dude, I need to go ahead and cap those out on all my characters. I have a really old account, and man, oh yeah, here's the skill screen. Shit, man, I have got to talk fast during this session because there's so much I want to cover, but I've already missed a shitload, so I guess there's really no point. But there are numerous skills here, and you will notice that some of them are 120, some of them 100. The basic cap for skills is 100, but you can increase them up to 120 with scrolls that you get from PvE, and you can get them from several different means, but the primary way of attaining them is through PvE, and this allows you to obviously go up several tiers for that particular skill, and it can definitely be beneficial to do so. Some skills cannot be raised over 100. No matter what, there are no scrolls to raise them from 100 to 120. This is just a minor detail here. But there's a shitload. Really, not necessarily a shitload, but there's a fair deal of skills. So the cap being 120, or excuse me, the cap for total skill points being 720, and this is with veteran rewards. I believe you start out at 700, and after veteran rewards take their course, the max becomes 720. So I can tell you there's not a whole lot of difference between 700 and 720, but it does allow for a few different things to take place, which, once again, incentive for sticking around and playing the game for years. That's cool shit to me right there. I really appreciate that sort of attention to veteran players. Not something that you see very often in other games. But here's my main point here for the skill trees for this particular character is poisoning. And I've already skipped through it, but that's what this guy's all about, with that Chris, infectious strike, being able to apply poison and poison my foes, which does a whole lot of different beneficial things for combat and PvP. Poisoning is pretty interesting in this game. It will apply a damage over time effect, and it'll make it so where it either has to be cured off you or healed with a bandage, but instead of the bandage doing healing to you, instead it cures the poisoning. So it's very good for pressuring people in PvP. You apply that poison and burst their health down, and if they try to heal themselves, with a bandage. It cures the poison first instead of regenerating their health, so it's very good for pressuring, and it's a very deadly build to fight against if you're not ready to be able to kite around and cure that poison and give yourself some time. But unfortunately, I missed the glory days of PvP in this game, probably. Here in a minute, I'm about to go to the portal and show off some of the different zones. Here I go. But what's happened is the game used to be entirely Felucia, which was primarily just a PvP rule set realm where, I mean, there weren't many safe areas, and the safe areas you could still get murdered, but I mean, there would be guard aggro, and you could be, labeled as a murderer, and which was not good. But basically, it was a pretty hardcore rule set, man. And what they did, I believe, in the second expansion was they introduced Tremel to the system, which satisfies the non-consensual PvP kind of Care Bear rule set. So basically, Tremel, no PvP, Felucia, PvP. And apparently this is where the game started to go downhill. This is where my buddies pretty much got me to start playing the game, was during this time after Tremel had already been added to the game. So unfortunately, I never got to experience any of the glory days. And to be honest, when I was first introduced to this game, I didn't really take to it very well. I just couldn't get down with it. And it really wasn't until years later, probably about 2 years later, after I was first introduced to it, that something inside me felt like coming back and playing. And ever since then, man, like off and on, I've been working on a couple accounts, and one of them, I've had 2 houses decay on me since I canceled subscriptions. That's what happens, man. Eventually your house will decay, all your shit gets dropped, and back whenever there was people populating the shard, which used to be the most populated shard, I can tell you, when someone's house decayed, it would be a loot fest. People would be all over that, ready to take anything that dropped, like vultures, man. But anyway, I'm at the end of the video here. Here's where I'm showing that I'm going to be doing some crafting on this guy, getting my guy's poisoning from 92 to 100. Anyways, guys, I'll see you on the next one.